welcome to my channel. Well, I was gonna gather up these Stockmans and Sowbelly Stockmans for a video, and in the process of doing that, I dropped a box of knives on my foot. And of course I'm barefoot, and the box of knives was one of those cigar boxes. Probably weighs about 4 or 5 pounds. It landed on my little toe, and when it did, I went, oh, that's gonna hurt. And sure enough, now, later on, I kind of forgot that I did that, and when I put my foot down, it felt like I was stepping on a splinter, you know, like I had a splinter in my foot. But I think I cracked a bone or something. But in the end, that sucks, because you don't realize how much your little toe plays an important part in walking, because it's definitely going to get the pressure. And if I can continue to whine a little bit, my rice steamer's got a little hole in the lid, you know, to vent out air, and I went to pick the lid up and burnt my it doesn't take very long for hot steam, you know, to burn you. So anyways, yeah, I damaged myself a little bit in the process for this, but what I wanted to talk about was of the Stockman patterns and types and everything, I tend to like the Sowbelly Stockman the best because of the ergonomics of it. It's curved enough when it's in your hand that follows the natural curve of your hand. It also it rides easier in the pocket than just a straight, you know, straight across Stockman, you know, like something like this. But what I realized was, I like this pattern so much, I'm probably going to get a case Sowbelly Stockman eventually. You know, I wanted to try to get one pattern of every case knife that I like. I'm not going to go for patterns that I don't like just to be collecting them, but I've got quite a few, you know, Rough Rider, and this is a Marbles D2 version. I tend to carry this one a lot more because basically because it's D2, and it's a well-built, you know, little Sowbelly here. But yeah, that's the main thing I like about these. And as far as, like, I think this is the Long Rifle series. Is it? No, it's a Rifleman. I saw in Smoky Mountain coming, you know, not available but coming up soon, a Rough Rider Long Rifle series. It's going to be checkered wood. Now see, I think on the Long Rifle one before, it wasn't checkered, it was smooth. So we'll have to see. It said checkered bone under the description, but it looks like there's going to be a few Rough Rider patterns coming back that I thought once gone, always gone. You know, all these came in a little tin and everything else. They were a little bit more of a presentation type of model. But they also seem to be, you know, like case Sowbellys seem to be in pretty high demand, because most places only have 1 or 2 versions available. I checked most of the places I know that sell case knives, and there were very few that had any in stock, only like 1 or 2 patterns. So I guess if you see one and it's put out by case and you like it, you better jump on it, because they won't last long. But yeah, what I like about the Stockman too is the 3 blades. You know, I mean, again, you're carrying one knife, but you're having 3 different blade options. And a lot of people like the Trapper. You know, you got a spay blade and a clip blade. I like the smaller blades that are in a Stockman series, like the sheep's foot. I find this thing pretty useful. And you got a little spay blade here that can also be useful. I don't know about spaying, you know, but I mean, you don't have to use the blade for what it was intended for. Like, you don't have to own sheep to have a sheep's foot blade, and you don't have to castrate animals just because you've got a spay blade. Thought I'd say that there. Now this one is a little bit different in the way they did this one. It's got a little shorter clip blade here. It's got your spay blade. Let's see if I do this right. And then it's got another clip blade, Tobacco Road. A little bit longer one. So it's on like a Stockman kind of like pattern, but it has different blades in it. And of course this one, you know, the Rifleman series. This is an older series with the checkered bone. Man, I really like the way they did this. They did a green version of checkered bone, but they pretty much just left the checkered bone to the Rifleman series. And that was just like a one-time thing that they did, you know. They did a little pattern. They did a little group of patterns on the Rifleman, and then they went to something else. So when that stock went out, your only choice is secondary market, and because it had a little tin with it and everything else, the price basically doubled or tripled when you can find them. Yeah, if they start getting up to like $50, $60 or something like that for a Rough Rider, I might as well get a case knife. You know, I can get a synthetic case knife for that price if I'm just worried about, you know, or just wanting a pattern. But yeah, I don't have an extensive collection. These are the bigger Stockmans. They call like the Texas Stockmans, you know, because it's got pretty long blade here. Really nice looking sheep's foot, you know, fairly usable length there. And fairly good sized spay blade. Not as long as like you would get on a moose pattern or something like that. This is a case 75 pattern, which is their large Stockman. And yeah, it's pretty nice. Of course, it has a spay blade also. Very nice shaped spay blade with a lot of belly to it and everything. And the clip point. Excellent knife. Of course, one of these costs as much as 1, 2, 3, 4, probably like 5 of these. But now this one here, the Southwest pattern, because it's got all this metal in it, it tends to be a little bit heavier knife and everything. But these are really nice Southwestern Native American pattern type style knives. And you know, it's got this little stone here, or synthetic stone, covering the bolster there on both sides. That's the bolster pin probably. But yeah, I just thought I'd show those to you and get a little chance to get some of my whining out. Now this one is a really small one. It's called a gentleman's trapper. And I think this one is Midnight Swirl. It's kind of hard to read that. Midnight Swirl. They got a lot of other stuff going on around it. Embellishment makes it hard to read the letters. There we go. We got the light just right. It's just a nice little small one. You still get 3 blades, but you know, you're talking about not much more than 1 inch on each blade on the small ones. And this guy is, where did my ruler go? My ruler went away. Well, there's a ruler over here. Yeah, you got about a 2-inch blade on that one. You can see that. I don't carry this one very often because, you know, the weight doesn't usually bother me or anything like that. If I'm going to drop a traditional knife in my pocket, I can either put it in the slip or just let it fall in the bottom of the pocket. And yeah, like I said, I don't have a huge amount of them and everything, but I just realized that I probably want to get a case version of it. So yeah, knives can hurt you even without being open, especially if you got like 4 or 5 pounds falling on your foot. So be careful. And yeah, I probably could have saved my toe if I had shoes on, but you know, I don't wear shoes in the apartment. Sorry. I like being barefoot, although it costs me. So there you go. Thanks for watching, and have a nice and safe day. Don't drop your knives on your feet.